A single statement, in a room built for alliance and strategy, a demand so outrageous it echoes like a diplomatic declaration of war. $300 billion, a make-up payment owed by Canada to the United States. This was the stunning ultimatum delivered by an US senator as arrogant as they come, Thom Tillis. The accusation? That decades of Canadian defense spending shortfalls within NATO somehow created a debt, payable not to the alliance but directly to Washington. It is a figure that defies reason. Nearly 80% of an entire year's federal budget. Is this guy serious? Or is it a hostile political stunt? We will dissect this moment piece by piece. This video is divided into 4 acts. First, the demand: we examine the shocking nature of this $300 billion invoice. Second, the rebuttal: we dismantle the American argument and reveal the truth. The real cost: Canada has already paid. A payment no one talks about. Third, the counter-move: how Prime Minister Carney is strategically using this aggression to justify a radical new path for Canadian sovereignty. And fourth, the reckoning: what this means for the future of the oldest alliance in the modern world. This is not a story about accounting. It is a story about power, memory, and the moment a partnership fractured. The American argument on the surface is simple, a spreadsheet argument. NATO has a spending target. Canada for years did not meet it. Therefore, a debt must exist. But this is where the ledger lies. It lies by omission. First, this was a commitment to NATO, a collective of 32 nations. It was never a bill to be sent from the Pentagon to Ottawa. The United States did not spend $1 trillion last year to shield Canada. It spent it to project American power globally. To suggest otherwise is to confuse defense with empire. Second, it ignores where Canadian dollar and Canadian sovereignty have shielded the continent itself. The vast, undefined border is not in the south, it is in the Arctic north, a domain Canada patrols and secures, a Arctic strategic frontier for all of North America. Our contribution to NORAD's modernization isn't a charity, it is the bedrock of continental early warning. And then there is the cost that never appears on any spreadsheet. Afghanistan. A war Canada did not start it, but when the request for help came, after a terror attack on American soil, Canada answered. We stood shoulder to shoulder. We fought. We bled. We buried our citizens. The sacrifice was born out of alliance, out of shared values. It was a choice, not an invoice. To now claim that the US solidarity has a price tag, that our shared pain is a line item deficit, that is more than an error, that is an erasure. That is where our Prime Minister Carney comes in. A leader whose career was built on reading the true value of an asset and the true cost of a liability. He did not react with outrage, he responded with strategy. This hostile demand did not weaken his position, it cemented it. Senator Tillis, with a single reckless statement, handed Carney a perfect justification for a historic pivot. The Prime Minister can now look at the Canadian public and say clearly, see, this is just one of the reasons why we must be strong on our own terms. The result is not a $300 billion payment to Washington, which is not going to happen, by the way. Instead, it is a $82 billion investment in Ottawa, the largest military funding increase in generations. But its purpose has fundamentally shifted. It is not spending to please a so-called ally. This is spending to ensure independence from an increasingly unpredictable partner. The strategy is twofold. First, to build a self-reliant, modern Canadian force designed for Canadian priorities, Arctic sovereignty, cyber defense, and credible deterrence. Second, to continuously diversify, to deepen ties with European NATO partners who share our multilateral outlook, our values, human rights, dignity, and the fact that friendship has no dollar equivalent, to engage robustly with the Indo-Pacific, with Australia, Japan and India, forging new pillars of security cooperations. The US Senator demanded tribute, but what he actually did was pay for Canadian declaration of strategic independence in his own words. So what was this 300 billion demand really about? It was a blunt attempt to reassert dominance, to frame the narrative of a freeloading ally, to justify a more transactional and less responsible American role in the world. It is the language of a dirty landlord, not a leader. Well, my friends, I guess that is just along Trump's specialty. It reveals a profound cultural shift. When a US senator suggests Canadians now view America as an adversary, he is diagnosing his own country's ailment. It is the fruit of a decade where partnership has been supplanted by deal-making, where shared history is discarded for short-term leverage. The question for a critical analysis is not about defense percentage. It is this: who benefits when an 80-year alliance is reduced by a petty cash dispute? The answer is simple: those who wish to retreat from the burdens of global leadership while still collecting the rent. But the playbook has failed. The invoice is fake. And the result is the opposite of what was intended. Canada is not writing a check. We are turning a page. We are remembering that trust, once broken, is not easily repaired. That real security can never be completely outsourced. Prime Minister Carney has stated the rupture clearly. This Tillis moment is the proof. The cost of American arrogance will not be measured in Canadian dollars. It will be measured in solid, regained Canadian sovereignty. In alliances diversified, in a nation looking at the world with clear eyes, understanding that the most reliable guardian of Canadian values, Canadian security and Canadian freedom is and must always be Canada itself. I would love to hear your opinion about this. Did you respond like I did when I first heard about that story? With skepticism turning to anger? What are those arrogant Trumpians thinking? So let's talk about this in the comments section below. By the way, if this video gave you value, I really would love it if you would subscribe. We are trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by Christmas. So please do support our goal if you're curious. And if you like this channel's deep dives, please ring the bell so you won't miss my next one. Thanks for watching. I'm Wilfried Lemkuller from Europe Curious.
You by our side, and we spent so many nights thinking how you did us wrong. Now we've banded all together. Your tariff made us strong, and so you know you're not so great. There's not a snowball's chance in hell will be your 51st state. You really need our resources far more than we need you, so now just go. Walk out the door. We do not need you. You're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who instigated these trade fights? You'll soon grow to regret it when we turn out your lights and it does. We will survive. As long as we can think and what we know will stay alive. We have all we really need. We can live without your greed. We will survive. We will survive. There's mission. It's time anew. We're not that fledgling little country stealing all of you. We are now a nation proud that is happy to be free. You didn't realize you gave us our own identity, so now just go. We will survive. As long as we can think and what we know and stay alive. Yeah, but all we really need, we can live without your greed. 51st state, my fucking ass. God, come